give in order to experience the steps that take us there. It's the chase, the pursuit, and so relax, you are here reminds me that I'm in the thick of the good stuff. Ted Helms, at a commencement speech, quotes his character from The Office, Andy Bernard, as saying, I wish there was a way to know you were in the good old days before you've actually left. Well, this might just be that growing into something you've yet to become, but with everything you have, appreciate who you are now. Respect that finish line, but cherish the race. When the time comes and we've reached the end of our days reflecting back, I think there are two successes that I'll identify as I'm reminiscing. First, I don't want to look back and feel regret for a lack of courage. I don't want to wish that I'd been bolder in pursuit of my dream. No, I want to accomplish the unthinkable, capture the unobtainable. But second, I also don't want, when reflecting back, to realize that I never looked around and enjoyed the ride. That I didn't know what I had the entire time.
How do celebrities like Justin Bieber and The Rock generate hundreds of millions of dollars? It's actually not what you think. They make a special kind of money known as royalties.
My name is Christian Mickelson, and I help everyday people increase their income online. I have to say, we're pretty darn good at it. My company is called Publishing.com, and we were just named the 19th fastest growing company in America right now. And there you can see us at number 19 on the list. And the reason we've been so successful in helping regular people make money is because we believe you should start your own business. That's what everyone gets wrong. Instead, we show you how to simply plug in to Amazon and the $500 billion business they've already built. However, the way we do it is very different from anything you've seen before. We don't show you how to sell products on Amazon. The way we plug into Amazon is through this app on your phone called Audible, which most people don't know is Amazon's app. And using this app, I showed my mother-in-law, Elsa, here, how to get automated checks from Audible every month. Now, listen, this didn't make her rich. So if you're looking to get rich or make a ton of money in the next 7 days, I'm not your guy. But what I can confidently show you is how any regular person can start making consistent 3, 4, even 5-figure checks every month. If you're curious to see how we do it, I just spent the last 3 months putting together the single best video training I've ever made, walking you through step by step exactly how to set all this up yourself. And the best part is, it's 100% free. That's right. So to get instant access to it right now, just click the button on your screen and put in your email. And over 3,000 people have already used this to add more streams of income in their life. And here's what just a few of them have to say about it.
If you follow the formula, it works. I think this is the best month yet to be on family. And I will always encourage this.
I really just have to say, this business model works. It just does. The future is very bright. Many people reach out to me asking if this is real. I don't know if money will. This is definitely real.
Christian and Rasmus literally changed my life. Not only did they change my life, they saved my life.
I cannot believe this is what you actually did. And it did.
Yeah, it's just repeat. These guys, go check them out.
So to get free access to the training, all you need to do is just click the button on your screen right now. And listen, if you're skeptical about what I'm sharing, that this might be BS or that those were paid actors, whatever you're thinking, listen, I get it. But that's exactly why we put together this free training, so that you can see for yourself what it's all about. You can see there is to do left is click the button on your screen. My name is Christian Mickelson, and I will see you inside the training right now.
If you've been in a car accident, don't call an attorney. Use this AI app instead. That's what I did, and that's how I got this $250K check in less than 30 seconds. I know it sounds crazy, but trust me, if you've been injured in a car accident, I'm about to turn your world upside down. I was in a car accident a few months ago. The car was totaled, and I ended up injuring my arm. I was in a bad situation. I missed work, and to make things worse, the small check the insurance offered me wasn't enough to buy a replacement car in this market. Luckily, I was scrolling on my phone late at night, and I came across a video just like this one. We've all heard of AI. It's smarter and better than humans, and will eventually replace us. But I've never heard of AI lawyer before. I found this app called Case Connect Compensation Calculator. It's 100% free for anyone. I will link to it in the description below. Check it out. It uses an AI lawyer that's pretty much on the same level of a Harvard law graduate. It asks 4 simple questions and instantly compares it to over 10 million car accidents. Then it tells you immediately if you qualify for a major cash payout. And the best part, if you qualify, it can connect you to a Case Connect specialist who will get the money for you. You literally don't have to pay a penny out of pocket for them to make it. That's what I did, and I'm so grateful because this check is going to put me back on my feet, paying off all my loans and replacing my car. AI is eventually going to take over, and who knows what will happen. But for now, this AI lawyer is like your personal law firm who works for you for free, has only your best interests in mind, and will get you paid more than any law firm can ever get you. So, if you've been injured in a car accident, major cash payout like I got here, then use this AI attorney app ASAP. Answer personal questions and see if you qualify for as much or more than I got here. The link I shared in the description. I hope this helps.
That when things felt like a lot, I forgot that a lot was in and of itself a gift. So when the pressures of life seem to consume us, the expectations overwhelm us, the story disappoints us, let's find the time to pause, take a breath, and relax, because it just might be life's way of telling us that we're here. You're not here just to get by, to check a box. No, you're here for something different. Maybe it's your desire to chase down that sunrise while the rest of the world sleeps. To embrace the different, the inconvenient, in exchange for that little bit of glory you'll soon feel as you pour your morning coffee to start your day. Or maybe it's your fascination with the fact that every time you ask yourself if there's more, if you have anything left, the answer always seems to be yes. And maybe that's it. That's what you're capable of. In a world of finitude and constraint and limitation, seems to be the only thing with absolutely no bounds.
Back up.
The human soul undergoes a sort of transformation, if you will, every time we look around at what currently is and decide it will soon be the gateway to something more. And that's life's The idea that we choose whether to accept things as they are or to change them. That we have within us the ability to push further than we've ever pushed. To find what was once only existent in our imagination. And this will always be true. You get what you seek, what you're willing to endure. And while some see this trade-off as too much, as a cost far too expensive, others see it as the chance of a lifetime. The opportunity to give some of you so that you can grow and improve all of you. See, each footstep is far more than a point on the earth. It's a declaration, a commitment to give more than most would give so that you can feel what only a few will feel. So remember that when things seem trivial, when it's easier to call it a day or turn it around, that the simple act of continuing forward puts you in the minority. It's positioning you to experience life as it should be lived. You're here to both cherish the now and cash it in. Let the value of your courage compound. Let your resilience remind you just how much control you have and how much is waiting for you. If only you say yes when it hurts, move forward when the path is unclear, believe when the possibility only exists in your head. You're here because while it may be easier to watch life go by from the cheap seats, the risk, the sacrifice is worth being able to look back someday down the road and know that at least you had the courage to play the game. Most often, our greatest source of pain comes not from the moment, but what we suspect that moment will mean. It's not the situation, but in how we perceive the situation. And this is an idea or a concept that I connect pretty directly with fitness or running, simply because that's where, to me, it's most apparent. It screams at me. So being that I run quite a bit, let's dive into that. Most days when I'm out for a jog or I'm running it strictly for endurance, cardio based, chance to get out there, breathe and reset, think. But then there are times when I say to myself, this run's going to be a little different. It's going to be dedicated to seeing what I'm made of. Right? I'm going all out, going to push. And what I find is I gradually increase my speed over the course of an 8-mile route, because my brain likes to focus on what's ahead. It becomes fixated on how much is to come, consistently warning me about the distance yet to be traveled, and asking whether I have enough left in the tank to get there. It's most extreme in the last mile or so, when my body is most exhausted, when I'm pushing as hard as I possibly can. It's a straight shot, and I'm looking up at the road ahead. My eyes are constantly reminding my brain that I'm not yet done, that there's more, creating an association between more road and more hurt. In a way, creating a little cycle of panic that sometimes appears and hangs out as I'm simultaneously talking myself out of slowing down. Now is not the time to pump the brakes. I've come too far and the finish line is so close. But it eventually dawned on me that while the adversity contained in this last stretch of the run is difficult, it's the idea that more waits ahead. That's what hurts the most. It's not the body, but the internal voice that's creating the discomfort. In fact, I bet I could run for hours and hours and hours at this speed if it were a life or death situation. If I had to. It's not the task laid out, it's my perception. And so this little line has helped me rethink and readjust my approach. Not just in situations like this, or when doing interval training or working out, but when trying to do everything else associated with my life. Grow my business, build a brand, nurture relationships, push boundaries in any other aspect of what I do. 3 words. Stay within yourself. It goes to the idea that your job is so incredibly simple that it's almost insulting. Put one foot in front of the other. Sure, look up so you know where you're going. But you don't need to analyze or interpret or dissect. There's no gap between there and here, then and now. There is only this moment. And so step. Again and again and again. When the brain starts thinking about how much is left to go, I've betrayed the mantra. Nothing external is allowed. Stay within yourself. You have a job to do, and you're capable, beyond capable of doing it. But the external must be kept out. The distraction must be kept at bay. And sometimes, when you get it right, you hit this stride, this pace that is equivalent to flying, a rhythm that's unparalleled. Stay within yourself. Step by step by step. The air making its way into your lungs and then exhaled back out into the world when you simplify life down in such a way. Seemingly large things are exposed for what they really are, a mere commitment to do the little things consistently. It's funny to look back on all the places I've run over the years and identify or match the geography with the lesson. The routes with the epiphanies, the maps forever entwined in my life, what they gave me and what it meant as I took it all forward into the world. And here we are again, new chapter, new lesson. Then after the shoes come off, the rest of the day commences. This little stretch, this last mile, plays the role of mentor. Eddie, simplification is everything, it said. The hard thing is not that hard because it's not that big. It's not that complex. Your monsters are self-created. Your hurt isn't a spotlight on the now. It's pointed at the road ahead. It's asking, what if things go wrong? It's asking, how long can this be sustained? It's asking whether I have the strength to endure this. Every question breathes life into an adversary that has no business existing in my world. They're not helping me get to any finish line. In fact, they're that negative self-talk I try so hard to mitigate. Except here they are, very good at disguising themselves as reality, as just facts of the case, but they are not. They don't belong anywhere near me or around me. Breathe and step. In fact, I need to deconstruct the world around me down into one word: now. And what you find when you remove the emotion, the excess, is the simplicity of the task at hand. Maybe not easy, but simple and complexity is the enemy of progress. Right now may not be comfortable, but at least you're operating with clarity, and that is always enough to simply carry on, to move forward, to stay within yourself. And that's what this is all about, asking the question, where are you letting what's down the road get in the way of what you're doing now? Where are you letting the pain of what's not yet here, the pain of roads not yet traveled, keep you from doing something that is 1,000% in your wheelhouse, that you are capable of? See, in this example, it's to breathe and step. It's to, in a sense, turn the mind off and go into autopilot. Find the pace and hold the pace. But the question is, what is your last mile? What metaphorical race are you running? Have you identified, one, the finish line, and two, what needs right now to get there? Forget about the gap. Right now. What is the simple solution? What is required of you in this moment? And perhaps most importantly, what needs to be pushed out and mitigated? It's often true that we stagnate not because we don't have the tools or ability, but because we're oversaturated with the wrong things, the wrong routines, the wrong thoughts. The best way to break through that self-imposed wall, to actually build walls that will prevent complexity from even attempting to rear its ugly head. What is your one breathe cycle? So stay within yourself, because when you do, you see how strong you are. Stay within yourself because you are the author of your story. Stay within yourself because all you need is now to push forward. Stay within yourself because that is where the power lives. Stay within yourself because the only way to lose is to let the external in. Stay within yourself because at some point that road will have been traveled down. The finish line will have been crossed, and it will have been precisely your ability to condense it all down into the simple, the ground under your feet that allows you to get there. Life tried to pull you 1,000 different directions, tell you 1,000 different stories, but you pushed it all away. Found that power within the moment and stayed within yourself.
Back up.
It's easy to look back, think about all the things you could have done differently. Especially since, as we get older, we get wise. Right? Time provides this beautiful gift of clarity. And ultimately, we realize things like maybe a lot of our hesitation was unearned. Maybe a lot of our decisions or indecision was fear-based. And knowing that, it's easy to look over your shoulder and feel like you could have lived a different life or taken a different path. At the very least, wish you'd done things differently. But the reality is, everything you've done has, in fact, taken you here, to this moment. And when you dwell on the past, the should-haves and the could-haves, you completely diminish the power of right now, the current moment. You completely underestimate the knowledge and the wisdom you've been collecting for years, whose single job is to assist you in your next move. It's a compounding of experience. The good, the bad, and the ugly has landed you right here, right now, and how beautiful right here is. The infinite blank page. The forever fresh start. And that's not to say the past doesn't matter. It's to suggest that your prior discomfort, your mistakes and lessons have equipped you to deviate from the routines and the cyclical nature of your past. Right? The past is a gateway to now, not a life sentence. There's a difference. You say last year or last month or last week is valueless because you did X when you should have done Y. I say to that, doing the wrong thing has positioned you to now do the right thing. Potential energy, right? Like a spring being pulled back tighter and tighter and tighter, awaiting its opportunity to propel forward. You don't get that without those could haves and should haves. They're integral to the process. The reason you'll be different moving forward. You can say, I wish I'd taken more chances. I wish I was bolder. I wish I followed my heart. Two pieces of news for you. One that's fantastic. It seems as though you're now aware of those times you fell short. You can therefore mitigate them moving forward. And two, you're not dead yet. We have to stop looking at yesterday like it's anything but a ladder to greater competence. The gymnasium for your decision making. Anyone can cherry pick the past, but the practical me asks, what does beating yourself up about what's gone do for you? What does it add to your life? Except for enabling and legitimizing the same identity you're looking to evolve and move on from.
Lent is right around the corner, and your neighborhood grocery outlet invites you to stop by for these amazing deals. Serve up a delicious appetizer, broadly gourmet tempura shrimp. 8-ounce packages are just $4.99. That's savings of up to 45% versus traditional grocery stores. Also, prepare a healthy meal with Pier 33 premium select cocoa salmon portions, just $8.99 a pound. That's savings of up to $4 a pound. Offers good through February 20th. Only at your local grocery store.
See, we don't limit ourselves because of right now. It's always because of yesterday. Look what happened. Look what I've lost. Look how things turned out. And it's like, keep the data and trust forward. You now have the tools to move right into that darkness of night. And in 5 years, you'll look back and sure you'll wish you did this. And same 5 years after that. But that's why life is a journey, not a standardized test. We are picking up the pieces as we go, painting the masterpiece one brush stroke at a time. And even though you might wish yesterday's brush stroke was a different color, a little darker, different shade, it's just as valid as all the others in contributing to the mural in its totality. So sure, be your greatest critic, but be your greatest ally as well. And that calls for being bold enough to let go of what's gone. Extract the value from yesterday and use it to build now. Something, anything, that's up to you, but hear the message. It's up to you now. Not who you were yesterday or what you did, not how people saw you or how you used to live your life. You have an opportunity now to go wherever your heart desires. Stronger and wiser at this point in time than you've ever been in your life. So rather than dwell on what's gone, how about asking how you can take those pieces of yourself and build again. It may be that our greatest gift in life is that we're always one decision away from transformation. We're always one decision away from a new path, with new experiences, new beliefs, new identity, one decision away from a totally different life. It's almost incomprehensible that all the days leading up to now, everything we knew ourselves to be can be discarded and left with one swing of an axe gone. What is more miraculous than that? We live at the intersection of two imaginary worlds, the past and the future. The past is gone and essentially meaningless, yet as the provider of our identity, it still rules over us. Our sense of who we are comes from our collection of past memories. That imaginary world of yesterday, like the elephant tied to the chair with the rope. It hasn't realized it's strong enough to break free. It doesn't know that what confines him is not the rope, but acceptance of a lie. And that's what the past, that's what identity is, a lie. We are not yesterday, we are right now. And from the trivial things to the significant things, we get wrapped up in that lie. We overlook the gift of control we have over our future. What does it mean to say, I'm not a morning person? That in your past you hadn't conditioned yourself to wake up? Okay. What does it mean to say, oh, I let people walk all over me? That in your past you didn't stand up for yourself? What does it mean to say I'm awkward or shy or I struggle with writing or running or public speaking? So maybe you did. But what does that have to do with right now? What does that have to do with realizing the control you have over your life? Because simply realizing you can disconnect from these narratives, that they are not you, is the superpower. Realizing that calling yourself a bad student because you failed a test is like never taking off your raincoat because it rained yesterday. It's like, no, the sun is out, adapt. And once you realize right now is the beginning of the rest of your life, you can start making little changes. Identify not who you were, but who you would love to be, and move towards it. Read The Power of Habit and Atomic Habits so that you can understand change isn't crazy or big or scary. It's moving little things in your life around so that they work for you, not against you. Start waking up and thinking about not what has happened, but what can happen, not what can go wrong, but what can go right. You are always one decision away from a totally different life because you're always one decision away from change, from walking away from the narratives that you have accepted. And so remember that. But remember it not just when things are fine. Remember it when you're struggling, when you feel restless or uneasy, unsure, uninspired, sad, angry, not content with the reflection in the mirror. When you feel that negativity, you're not looking at what can be, you're looking at what you have been. And there's no room at the table for that distraction. Not when you can reach out and start building something new. Not when you can put on a new pair of shoes and walk down a different path. You are always one decision away from a totally different life. And that decision should be first and foremost to choose future over past. Your next step over the last one, choose your ideal world and start building. Goodbyes are tiny beginnings. Sunsets that grant a very special kind of permission green light to take all the value and the beauty, all the life lived, and carry it into tomorrow. Which sounds easy enough. But then again, on paper, so does running a marathon or climbing Mount Everest. And I wonder, how could something be painful and transformative? How could something break me and be good for me? It's not hard to see the dissonance there, right? But here's the thing. Oddly enough, that seemingly paradoxical experience is consistent. Consistent throughout our lives.
Ruffs always gives you savings and rewards on top of our lower than low prices. And when you download the Ruffs app, you can enjoy over $500 in savings every week with digital coupons. Plus, you can earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon in the month. So it's easy to save big. Ruffs, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Restrictions apply.
And now, shop what you love and save $2 on each participating item when you buy 3 or more with your card. Ralph's, fresh for everyone.
Appearing every time we grow. Our darkest moments feel like endings, perhaps because we're hanging on to what was, the ideas that felt like home. But in actuality, those moments, those goodbyes, are already the beginning of something new. The same way midnight sparks the beginning of a new calendar day, right in the heart of darkness. Unbeknownst to us, while the world is turned off and our minds are asleep. A hello in disguise. When we said goodbye, my heart immediately declared war on my mind. Why? Because her not being there didn't make sense. Because when you care about something, you fight for that thing. Because goodbyes, well, they signify change. I liked this chapter. But my brain fired right back. Right idea, just wrong time. What's the reality of this situation? Would you ask yourself that? It's that letting go can be the hardest thing and the right thing simultaneously, that I should know the rule. And so goodbyes were said and suns be said. And we went to sleep in separate beds, not knowing anything about the future except that it would be different. Way different than today. And immediately in comes the heart. Picks up the mic, tap, tap, is this thing on? Check 1, 2. Hey. Make sure you're aware of what's gone. Make sure you spend your time thinking about what you don't have. See the blank pages that used to have, right? You see the empty space that used to be occupied. Make sure you shine that spotlight on what was once there. Oh, it's empty. How does that make you feel? Asks the heart. Then the door opens, in comes the brain, the pragmatist, more direct, certainly more matter of fact. It says, hey, time to move. You have things to build, places to go. You can't let that blood-pumping organ get in the way of what really matters here. Lace up your shoes. Open the door. Go make a name for yourself, kid. Go be that guy. You get what you focus on. Remember, focus on the reality, the process, the analytics. Data doesn't lie. Your heart does. I let them fight it out for a few. Our desire for faction so deeply ingrained that I feel like I'm looking down at myself while my right half fights my left half. How best do we go forward here? Right, wrong, yes, no, stop, go. Before realizing, like so many things, the truth hides in the gray space. Maybe in an obtuse way, they both want the same thing. The truth is, it hurts because change hurts. But that doesn't mean I've lost more than I've gained.